Invest in properties instead of cars. Have you drank water today? I hope you did. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Mutombo if you're new. Around here we do adulting 101 videos, okay? We talk about what it is like being an adult. I give tips and tricks on everything I've learned in life so far. We talk about moving out, and that's what we're talking about today. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I'll give you 2 minutes. It's free. Go ahead. Alright, so let's get into it. I hope everybody's doing great, that your quarantine is going fine. This is officially episode 1 or episode 2 of my new series called Moving Out 101. Today, we're talking about buying versus renting. I'll just mainly put out there my pros and my cons. Of course, it depends also if we're talking about a house or a condo, an apartment or whatever. I am going to talk about buying and renting in general. Are you ready? Okay. So if you haven't seen my introduction that I did last week, I'll put a link right here. Go watch that one first and then come back here. Like, hey. Alright, quick recap. So I'm 23. I'm about to hit 24 on July 24th. Okay. So I'm done with school. I don't want to hear anything about it no more. Okay. I graduated in accounting and I'm working in accounting for an insurance company. So I've been working there for a minute, almost a year. It's been like 9 months or so. So yeah, I still live at my parents' house. I haven't moved out yet, but I am planning on moving out in a year. So I'm just documenting my journey and giving my advice that I can give out there, and maybe try to help someone that's going through the same process right now or soon, or if you've been through it and you're just curious or noisy or whatever, it's fine. Sit down, grab a snack, let's go. First, buying. Okay, the pros of buying. So when you buy, you're building an asset. An asset is un avantage économique futur. It's a valuable thing that's financially beneficial for you on the long term. That's basically what an asset is. So when you buy a property, no matter what property it is, you automatically are building assets. Okay, so on the same topic type of thing, if you rent, you are not building any assets. And next point that I have, if you have any projects in the future that you're trying to buy lands, that you're trying to buy investments, properties, they gain value automatically. Once you buy a property, a year later, it's not worth the same thing as a year prior when you bought it. So if you buy, let's say, a condo for $200,000, in a year, the value of this same property won't be $200,000 anymore. It will be now maybe $215,000, maybe $250,000, maybe $270,000. It depends if things was added in the neighborhood, a new grocery store, they added a bus line, a train, something like that. It's cool. That adds value to your property. So this is a good thing about buying, because you get your money back and you can gain money from it. Another thing, other than financial things, something that is very nice about buying a property is that you can do whatever you want to it. If you want to destroy a wall, it's yours. You can do whatever you want. If you want to paint everything, if you want to put holes in every walls and hang up pictures, you can do it because it's yours and no one else's. When you have a mortgage, when you own a house, it's so much easier to plan your financial future, you know? If you get a mortgage now, okay, a mortgage is long term. They put it on a 25-year scale or a 30-year scale. You know what you're gonna be paying for your roof for the next 30 years, so you can realistically plan for the next 25 years if you stay in that same house, or if you don't sell it, you know that this is how much it's going to cost you. So it's way easier to plan ahead if you're a planner, that you like to have your things like in order. On the same note, you know that one day the payment will stop. Eventually you will pay off this house, and if you want to pass it to your kids and grandkids, it's such a nice gift to give because it will be completely paid. All there will be left to pay is obviously insurance, but you know, and it's really yours, because I said it's yours, but it's actually the bank. So if you don't give the money to the bank, the bank will take it. Okay, so now let's flip to the cons of buying a house. house, the taxes. When you own a house, every month you have to pay municipal taxes as well as school taxes. It adds up like crazy and you don't have any choice but to pay them. But I've heard to make it a little less painful, they include that amount into their mortgage, so it's like just one payment going through. It hurts a little less, you know. You have to pay those two taxes every month. It's annoying, especially if you don't even have kids that goes to school and you still have to pay school taxes. Like what? And once you buy your property, you have to pay the welcome tax. It's basically 1% of your property's value that you have to pay just once though. It's your welcome gift. What type of welcome gift is that? And another thing about owning the place where you live is you are responsible for everything. If you rent, you can just call your landlord when the toilet breaks, if the roof needs to be fixed, if the wall needs to be fixed, if anything needs to be fixed, you just call your landlord and you're like, what's up, come fix it, it's your problem, you know. But if you own the place, you have to deal with it and whatever. I'll just call my dad. I'll be like, Dad, come fix it, it's broken. Okay, a con of buying versus renting, it costs so much money up front. Like when you make the move, not like physically moving your stuff into the place, but like making the move of buying, like you need to have cash, you need to put like a down payment, can't go around it. You need to put a down payment of at least 5% of the total price of the property. They suggest to put 20% of the value, but yo, that increases like crazy. That's a big amount, okay? So let's say the property you're trying to buy is 200,000, you have to put 40k down, boom. That's a lot, okay? But most people don't put 20% down up front, so they put like 5% or 10% or 15% or whatever they can put, they put it. But then you have to have insurance on your mortgage. If you don't put 20% down, they'll assume that maybe there's some kind of danger, so you need to insure your mortgage, and that costs even more money. Fantastic. And you also have to pay like the notary. It's something like $500 an hour for this guy or this gal to read you like all the legal documents and for you to sign everything. And you also have to take appointment to the bank to discuss what type of mortgage is better for your situation, everything like that. Check your credit, blah blah blah. Fix your credit, guys. Your credit is so important. And also when you own a property, yo, it's so you build your credit through it. Like it's a big loan, so if you pay it well you're working that credit, sis. And if you don't pay it, that credit will hit you. Let's go to renting. The pros of renting. Making the move is way cheaper than buying a property because you don't have to go to the bank and discuss a mortgage or a loan or anything like that. You don't have to go to the notary and like read legal documents and pay that guy or gal $500 an hour. Don't have to pay the welcome tax when you move in, and overall every month you don't have to pay scholar tax nor the municipal tax. Another pro is that if anything breaks, you are not responsible. You just call the landlord and you're like, okay, come fix it, thank you. They have it, you know, they'll fix it, they'll pay for it, most probably. It depends on everyone, but it's their properties, so they will fix it. Once you decide to move out of this place that you're renting, most probably you don't even have to do open houses and have people come over to look at the place and whatever. I hate open houses. Jeez, it's a whole mess. Anyway, so like when your lease is up, you literally just have to pack and go. The owner of the place will deal with that himself or herself, so that's good. The cons now of renting, you're literally just taking your money that you worked hard for and you're throwing it through the window. I swear, like you are literally paying the mortgage and probably everything that comes with it. Your rent covers the mortgage. It has to. If it doesn't, the owner is not making any money. He's actually losing, so he'd have to pay something from his pocket, and that doesn't make any sense. So you are paying the mortgage, the interest and all of that, and you are calling it rent, okay? Most probably the owner increased your rent by maybe $50, $100, but he has to be slick with it, okay? So he's making profits on top of that. Another thing, you cannot renovate as you wish. You can't destroy a wall if you wanted and just make an open space. You have to obey like all the rules that the owner has set for you. If he said no holes in the wall, you can't hang up pictures in like any kind of way, it has to be like glued or something, you don't have the freedom to do that. If he said don't paint the walls, you can't even paint the walls. That depends from a place to another, but like that kind of sucks. So I feel like it's never really your home. And if anything happens that the owner has a health problem or something, he can't keep up with the place no more, or anything happens, he decides to sell the place, well, you don't really have a say on that. If he decides to sell it and now the new owner is like, okay, but I don't want no tenants, so you have to go, you're literally thrown out of your home. That sucks, and that can happen. And if there's a new owner, like the previous owner sells it and the new owner comes and he's like, okay, you can stay, but I'm increasing it by $100, that sucks because you know, you don't really have a say on it. And on that same note, the renting price, it increases every year depending also on the owner. If he wants to increase, he can, it's totally legal. You can't really like plan ahead, not like if you own the place and it's a mortgage and it stays the same for the next 30 years until you're done paying. So basically that's a few points I thought was kind of important for my move. I hope this was beneficial for you. If you have any other points that are interesting that we should take in consideration, please feel free to leave comments below. I don't know if you got it by now, but I am planning on buying a property instead of renting, just because I want to build assets. I eventually want to put tenants in that place and make a few coins from there. Also because properties gain so much value. If I could give you any advice today, invest in properties instead of cars. I've worked in a car dealership for like 2-3 years. Yo, cars lose value like crazy. Once you buy a car, you take it from here. This is the parking lot of the car dealership, okay? You're in the showroom, you're signing the papers. You bought this car for $15,000, okay? You're real happy. It's a cute car. That's what you wanted for a minute. Now you paid, you give the money, blah, blah, blah. Now this is the street. You're on the street. Now the value of this car has decreased by $3,000. So if you want to sell this same car that you put gas, you put love in there and whatever, you didn't have any accident in it, you wash the car, you cannot sell it for $15,000 the next year, the next few months, because the value has decreased. It's all about how you used it. The mileage decreases the value of the car like crazy. Don't invest in cars. Get you a car that can drive you point A to point B, and it's a no-brainer. All the luxury cars, and you can't get your money back with a car. But on the other hand, a property gains value like crazy, especially, and I know people my age, they don't really like, they want to be downtown, they want to be in the poppin' spots, okay? But if you go like a little further in the not so poppin' places, suburbs I would say, you can get a nice condo, a nice house for the low, okay? And maybe there's still like a lot of trees around there, but the price of the house is cheap right now. And in 5 years, there will be grocery stores, schools, daycares, a little shopping center, and the value of your property will increase like crazy. You can sell it, you'll be able to sell it for way more than you paid for. Isn't that fantastic? You make money from buying a house to just live in that house. You can rent it. If it's a big house, whatever, you can rent the basement and make extra cash from it. There's so many ways that you can make money from under your roof. That's not on that. I've talked enough. There's so many more things I could say, but I don't want the video to be too long. Next week, I'll be talking about roomies or not. Stay tuned for that. Check out my previous video if you haven't watched it yet. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like the video. Leave me a comment, your thoughts, your tips, your tricks, whatever. Leave me a comment and I'll see you guys in my next video. I appreciate every single one of you so much. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.